Well, it's good to be back with you for another day of Bible study as we're continuing on in our Game On series. If you'd like more information about this study in particular, you can visit the URL that's right there, www. Actually, about about who we are, you can visit that URL right there, www.christtable.today. You'll find information about everything that's going on around Christ Table, who we are, what we do, especially and directly among those who are disconnected, disillusioned, or done with the church. That'll give you more information there. Sign up for our email list so that you can stay up to date with those things. Now, if you'd like more information in particular about this study, then that URL that's right there in front of me. Now, go.christtable.today/game on is where you can find all the information about this study, a downloadable PDF there of a study guide that will keep you up to date and help you go deeper into the study. Absolutely free, no strings attached. Don't have to input an email or anything at all. So it's completely anonymous, which I know to many people who have been through church trauma is very important. I will say, if you do want to help us out here at Christ Table, one of the things that you can do is donate in order for us to continue to do what we do. And if you donate, then we'll send you, just free as a thanks for doing that, a printed copy of that study. We have a youth and family devotional there. We have the printed copy of the study guide that's for free. We've got a box there that also includes a lot of other spiritual resources as well, including this whole chess piece set here, and some other things that we'd love to send you as well, just as a thanks for your generosity to us. Today, we are now on day 14, looking into Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. And we have been talking this week, and today and tomorrow will be the same. We've been talking about the night, which I have pointed out, I think every single day, is my favorite piece, especially as a kid. Young Kevin, little Kevin, this was his favorite chess piece. The main reason why the night was little Kevin's favorite chess piece was because it moves in a very odd movement pattern. That uppercase L shape there is the pattern in which it moved in. And I always thought that it was quirky. I always thought it was weird. You could take the element of surprise. It also surprised me many times strategically when I was playing with my sister. And it's always kind of been the favorite of mine. The thing about the knight, though, also that makes it different from other pieces is that the knight cannot change its move distance. Other pieces can change their move distances. The pawn, the first move of the pawn, can be 2 spaces. From then on, it's 1 space. The rook, the bishop, these pieces can change their move distance as well. Other pieces can be traded away in exchange. The pawn can be promoted if it reaches the opposite side of the board. It can be promoted to be another piece. But the knight is what it is from beginning to end of the game. Nothing fancy. And I think that there is something to be said sometimes about that. It is what it is all the way through, both in chess as well as in life. Consistency. This is one of the things that is very difficult for us many times to in ourselves maintain, but something that we almost always tend to appreciate in other people. Consistency. The ability to be who you are day in and day out, or the willingness to be who you are from day in to day out. One of the things that many times causes trauma, church trauma, in religious people or once religious people, is pastors who were inconsistent. Who they were in the pulpit is not who they were off the pulpit or off the platform, is not who they were in their families or in their private life. And not to say that there aren't some differences in the way perhaps someone will speak or conduct themselves in one place or the other, but I think you know what I'm talking about, right? Somebody who is two-faced, who is completely and utterly a different personality, a show person, or intentionally hides things when they're in the public spotlight or in the public sphere, and the private sphere is somebody totally different in their personality, totally different in what they say or how they think, because they think that consistency in who they really are would perhaps hurt them, make people think less of them, prevent them from climbing the ladder, especially in church or religious circles. Ladder climbers aren't thought of very well. So, consistency. As we come to today's text in Galatians chapter 6, verse 9, this thought is very important and very critical to what Paul is writing and thinking about as he writes to the church of Galatia. It says, let us not become weary in doing good. Or another way to say that might, let us be consistent in doing good. Let there be consistency in your good works. For at the proper time or sometime, you're going to reach a harvest, reap a harvest if you don't give up. You know, I think that there has been a lot negative to be said, especially in the evangelical church, about good works, about doing good things. But Paul here very much seems to encourage it, so much so that Paul encourages us to be consistent in doing good things for other people, and that if you don't give up, then you will reap good things for having sown that. A harvest will come from that consistency. And so maybe, not just in the game of chess, but maybe also in the game of life, there is benefit to being the same from the beginning of the game until the end of the game, from the beginning of your life's journey until the end of your life's journey. It takes a lot of courage to be consistent. It takes a lot of courage to be faithful like that, especially in the face of a society that expects you to be one thing in one place and another thing in another place, or expects you to bend to the expectations of the culture in which you're in. But faithful courage, the courage to be consistent, means staying true to your values, means staying true to who you are, how you were designed, what your purpose is. Even when other pieces or people change directions or give up or swap out one skin suit for another, consistency. Because small acts can eventually make the change that you wish to see. Sometimes you don't have to level up. Sometimes you don't need to move a great number of spaces. Sometimes the best thing that you can do is just simply be who you are and recognize that when you do that, small acts of change will change things. I call this the 2-degree principle. That very small change ends up over an extended period of time becoming great change. Some people think that you need to do a 180-degree turn immediately, that you've got to be this thing in one moment and then something else at another moment. I don't think that that's the best way to affect change. The best way to affect change is just simply, if this is 0 degrees, a 2-degree difference is very small at the beginning. But if you think about it, down here, at the starting point, those 2 degrees are close together. But as you continue to track forward on 2 degrees, think of maybe a pie chart, those lines get further and further apart the further from the origin point that you get. 2 degrees of change, just a small change in the very beginning, can over time lead to a very huge change. Think of your retirement account. A little bit of money 50 or 60 or 70 years ago can end up being more money over that period of time than a large amount of money put in within the last 5 years. Compounding interest. Interest compounds, time compounds as well when it comes to change. So be consistent. Maybe you don't need all the flashy change. So the question, one of them in the study guide today, what good work are you tempted to abandon because progress feels slow? Because you're remaining consistent and not seeing much change? What good work? What good thing, what necessary thing are you tempted to let go of because you're not seeing the results that you want to see as fast as you want to see them? It feels too slow, but there's a sense inside of you that this might be something that's too important to give up. What is that thing? Let us know in the comments or in the chat, wherever you're watching today, and would encourage you to download that study guide at go.christtable.today/game on. There you're going to find the rest of the questions as well for today so that you can deep dive into this study. And I look forward to being back with you tomorrow as we continue on our final day, actually, of looking at the knight before moving on to a different chess piece. But until tomorrow, happy reading.